Good morning, El Paso.
Hurricane force winds.
Travel ban for the entire state.
Please remain home and remain off the roads.
Blizzard 2015 has arrived, the latest on how it's affecting millions of Americans this morning.
Also, the quarantine period is over this morning. Fort Bliss soldiers will finally be able to reunite with loved ones after their mission to Africa.
And no, it wasn't bad Wi-Fi connectivity or your phone. Some social media sites went down overnight, leaving users frustrated. What was the outage? Was it the work of hackers?
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC7's Good Morning El Paso.
Good morning. A winter storm the National Weather Service is describing as historic is now roaring into New England.
About 58 million people are being affected. The storm could drop up to 3 feet of snow in some places.
Also, thousands of flights are being delayed or canceled. Good morning, El Paso, Las Cruces, and Juarez. Thanks for waking up with us today. I'm Floren.
And I'm Stephanie Valle. It is 6:01 on your Tuesday morning. We'll have more coverage of Blizzard 2015 in a bit, but first, we want to check out the weather here at home.
That's right. A nice clear picture. This is a live look outside courtesy of our ABC7 downtown cam. No snow in our forecast. That's a good news this morning. We start off with all that terrible weather back east, and then we say, hey, things are looking better here, right, Crystal?
Yeah, definitely no snow in our forecast. Temperatures are actually fairly mild and pleasant out there this morning. On our clouds and radar map, we are checking with just some very small spots of green picking up on radar. We had the potential of some light rain overnight. We did see a little bit of that track around Silver City and southern New Mexico, but for the most part, it hasn't really come to fruition. We're looking at still some spots of green right around Las Cruces near the Oregon Mountains and the White Sands area. Otherwise, this morning, it's all broken apart and clouds are going to start clearing, meaning temperatures will start warming. They're already pretty nice. 47 your temperature in El Paso. It feels like 45. Las Cruces are at 44 degrees with a relative humidity of 75% and light winds out there. Winds stay light today, but they will really pick up in the days to come. And as they pick up, we'll also see rain chances pick up and temperatures drop. We'll talk more about that coming up in a few minutes.
And that's the up and down we're talking about. Thanks, Crystal.
If you couldn't post anything on Facebook or Instagram late last night, was it your Wi-Fi acting up?
No, a lot of people were so upset about this though, right? It turns out the social media sites went down for about an hour and didn't come back up until after midnight. The good news here is that service has since been restored for both.
Many users took to Twitter to vent their frustration. The notorious hacker group Lizard Squad has claimed responsibility for bringing down the social network. However, there has been no confirmation that the outage was the result of a hack.
And back to Blizzard 2015 now. 50 million Americans are right in the path of the storm, which has now just descended upon the northeast coast in a big way.
The worst expected to be in Connecticut and Rhode Island, with up to 3 feet of snow and blinding whiteout blizzard conditions.
So let's get straight to ABC's Lana Zach with our Storm Track weather coverage.
The city that never sleeps today appears to be hibernating. Empty streets, bridges, tunnels, and commuter trains all shut down in New York and throughout the northeast coast. Snowmen outnumbering people in Madison Square Park. 7 states now in a state of emergency.
Extreme snowfall. Hurricane force winds.
Travel ban for the entire state.
Please remain home and remain off the roads.
It's dangerous to be out there now. It's only going to become more dangerous. And at one point it's irresponsible. So 11 o'clock for all roads to close.
Several states issuing unprecedented travel bans on all roads. Here in New York, the entire subway system closed at 11 p.m. Monday night.
And here I am in one of the very last trains running in New York City tonight. As you can see, usually it's teeming with people. Tonight is almost empty.
In Scituate, Massachusetts, high winds prompting a protective power outage. The concern, high winds could down power lines, causing uncontrollable fires.
We are the first responders. If we don't have the roadway systems cleared, then fire trucks, police trucks, ambulances cannot get through.
We're in a moment of calm right now. The wind has died down a bit, and I will say that even though they're being hit much harder further north, here in Central Park, it doesn't feel that bad. In New York, Lana Zach, ABC News.
Wow, happening today at Fort Bliss, the latest group of soldiers back from Africa will be reunited with their families.
Yes, this after the quarantine period is over from the return from Africa. Good morning, El Paso's Andrew J. Polk is live with the details. Andrew.
Yeah, good morning, Hillary and Stephanie. I'm standing out here in front of the Buffalo Soldier Gate for Fort Bliss. We're not too far from here. A little later this morning, 55 soldiers from Task Force Iron Knights will finally be reunited with their families now that their mandatory medical monitoring quarantine period has been completed. Now, up right now, this is video from when the first group of soldiers from Task Force Iron Knights departed, taking part in Operation United Assistance in West Africa. The hundreds of soldiers from Fort Bliss assisted with transportation and logistics for the anti-Ebola efforts, though they never did direct treatments or transports of Ebola patients. All returning soldiers involved in the operation were quarantined for 21 days as a precaution. This first group has just finished that monitoring period after returning to the United States on January 7th. So back out here live now at Fort Bliss, those soldiers will be reunited with their family in a return ceremony today. It will be interesting to see the contrast between their departure and their return here today. And we'll, of course, have the latest on air online at KVIA.com. So for now, reporting live at Fort Bliss, Andrew J. Polk, ABC 7.
All right, Angie, thank you. A teenager accused of shooting a man earlier this month is now behind bars this morning. 17-year-old Gustavo Angel Alvarado was arrested at a border crossing yesterday. Police say he shot 34-year-old Pete Limon on the 300 block of Karen. Investigators say it all started when Limon got into a fight with a neighbor. Alvarado allegedly got involved and shot Limon in the abdomen with a shotgun. It's believed that Alvarado was hiding with family in Juarez. A man in Doña Ana County has died after he was electrocuted while pruning pecan trees. It happened around 3 p.m. yesterday near a neighborhood off of Shalem Colony Trail west of Las Cruces. Authorities say the 74-year-old man was trimming the trees when he came in contact with some power lines. He died at the scene.
And we have an update now on that explosion that happened over the weekend, Saturday afternoon, right off of US 54 near the New Mexico-Texas state line. It seriously injured a mother and daughter. Investigators say they, along with 2 others, were picking up scrap metal on or near U.S. Army property. A sales receipt from a Socorro scrapyard was found inside the pocket of one of the alleged trespassers. We went to the scrapyard and spoke to the cashier. She told us they're regulars. Only certain types of recyclable metals are regulated by the state. There is no ID check for steel and tin. It's simply drop and collect, which is what happened here. Fort Bliss officials say the areas are clearly marked with signs in both English and in Spanish, and no one is supposed to be in those there.
It is 6:08 and we're taking a look at central El Paso courtesy of our TxDOT traffic cameras. Now the east side at I-10 and Airway. You can see traffic is starting to pick up as we get later into the morning at 6:08. But again, no issues to report. We'll pass any along if we come across them.
We have some video you need to see. It was a terrifying night for city council members in Minnesota.
A gunman enters the meeting and begins shooting, and it's all caught on camera. The tense video later in the show.
And you know you're not supposed to park in a handicap zone, but what happens when authorities do it? What one constable had to tell us.
But first, Crystal Cly is standing by with your forecast. Crystal.
And it's a good forecast for today with temperatures on the rise, but they'll be taking a plunge in the days to come. We'll take a look after your break.
Thanks, Crystal. This is ABC 7, where news comes first.